Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. There has been a lot going on, both for me personally and kind of globally. So I thought today we would just kind of sit down together and have a little chat, catch up a little bit, because there's been a lot going on. So the first thing that I want to talk about is my job. So I, kind of before this whole pandemic thing got going, I had put in my notice at work. So I gave 3 weeks notice. And the reason I decided to quit was because I was just very, 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 very stressed. And I mean, ever since last summer, I knew like I could not do another year. Like I just couldn't, and I wasn't sure what the timing of it was going to look like specifically. But just due to, changes that happened and just different people that left, like it really felt like I just couldn't even do another month. And so I put in my notice. I don't have another job lined up. I was not looking for another job, and essentially, like, Kevin and I have been talking about it for maybe like a year or so, maybe like a year and a half, about the idea of me becoming a housewife. And, financially, like, we are able to do it, and I think the timing just kind of worked out this way because I really just needed to quit my job, and just, for my mental health, and honestly my physical health, like, stress kills. Like, I have always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and so because we want to have kids soon, I didn't think that it made sense for me to go out and get another job, because, I mean, by the time I find something, I would probably, only be there for X amount of time before I am ready to leave. So, because we are financially able to, and also Kevin works night shift, so it just kind of, in terms of us being able to spend time together, this works out a lot better too. So I'm now officially a housewife. I'm really happy. It's not something that I had ever really dreamed of, so to speak. Like, I always dreamed of being a stay-at-home mom. I never dreamed of being a housewife, like of staying home before kids. But I think that, this is going to be a really good thing for us. I feel like we've always had kind of a more, I don't want to say traditional, but I guess, like, Kevin has the things that he's responsible for, I have the things that I'm responsible for. So I mean, for as long as we've lived together, I've always really focused on like taking care of the house, and I do all of the dishes and the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning, and I always have, and I love it. But I mean, that is kind of a job in and of itself. And so, for years I have felt like I have had 2 jobs. And if you count, the other things that I'm interested in, like YouTube, for example, that's kind of like a 3rd job right there, even though, not a job in the sense of earning money, but a job in the sense of a time commitment, I guess. So yeah, between everything I do around the house and working outside of the home as well, I just felt like I had 2 jobs, and now I have 1 job, and I actually have, free time to enjoy life again. So this is definitely a really good thing for us. So like I said earlier, we do want to have kids soon, and unrelated to the timing of when I quit my job, we were also actually trying. And it's kind of hard to talk about. So I actually did get pregnant the first month that we tried, and so I think I was maybe like 3 weeks and 5 days around there when we found out. And then the day before I would have been 6 weeks, I started bleeding. So I made an appointment the next day, and they told me that I was no longer pregnant. So that was really, really hard to deal with. And I just never imagined, you know, I know the statistics out there, but it's just one of those things that's like you never imagine that it's gonna happen to you. And I had no idea how much it would hurt, like emotionally, not physically. But you know, we were coping, you know. I feel like it was so early when it happened that, you know, we hadn't gotten, you know, too far down the road in terms of like planning. You know, it's not like we had already picked out a name or started buying stuff or started a registry or anything like that. So I think that makes it a lot easier. But I mean, I had like 6 different apps in my phone that I had to go through and, you know, edit the data in. It wasn't like getting notifications every 30 minutes about, you know, today the baby's the size of whatever. But, you know, I feel like I am pretty good at compartmentalizing and, you know, going through normal everyday stuff and being okay. I feel like I really just have a lot of faith that, you know, it will happen for us one day. Like, after going through that, it was never something in my head like, oh, you know, maybe we'll never have kids. Like, that was never something that went through my head. You know, I always just really had a lot of faith there. So we were told that, you know, we could start trying again right away, but we probably will wait a little bit. Probably just like a couple months, but yeah, that's been hard. So again, I'm glad that I'm now home and, you know, I have the time to, I mean, I don't want to say grieve, but, you know, time to reflect, I guess, time to care for myself, because, I mean, it was really hard, you know, going to that appointment and then going back to work the next day. And, you know, this was my last week of work when this happened, and so I didn't really feel like I had the option of taking time off. And just, you know, logistically, I felt like I was really needed there. And I mean, honestly, it was hard. It was really hard. But, you know, got through it, and now I'm home and I can focus on myself, and, you know, we're doing okay. So with this whole pandemic situation that's going on right now, I hope everyone out there is staying safe, taking care of yourselves. We are doing okay here because not a lot has changed. Even though we're now on like statewide like shelter in place, you know, self-quarantine, whatever you want to call it. Kevin was already working from home for a while before this, so that, you know, wasn't a change for him, and we are so blessed that he is able to work from home, because I know a lot of people out there are not, and that is really scary and really hard. And I am now home and no longer having to go into work, so that has been really nice too. We're all stocked up for the most part in terms of like food and supplies. We've kind of been like slowly building, so I mean, you know, in terms of food, I think we'll be more than fine, even if we're like scrounging in the bottom of the pantry or the freezer or whatever. Like, we can like make bread, like we, you know, I'm not concerned about that. I think we'll be good for a while. I was really hoping that this whole situation was gonna kind of blow over in a couple weeks, but it doesn't really seem like that's gonna happen. What really scares me personally is really just, I guess, the uncertainty, just not knowing how long this is going to go on for. Like, is it going to be a month or 2 months or 3 months? Like, I mean, it has been a while. Not that we like have been actively searching for it, because like we don't need it, but I mean in terms of like paper towel and toilet paper, I feel like it is always out of stock everywhere. People are like standing outside like an hour before stores open, and like, you know, I just want to really get back to life as normal. Like, it's an interesting time we live in. So in terms of plans for the future, I really just want to enjoy being a housewife for a little bit. I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I mean, I honestly just feel so incredibly blessed to have this opportunity. I don't feel like I am, you know, missing out on anything or giving up on anything. Just in terms of like a career, like, I mean, I use quotation marks because I never envisioned myself as like a career woman. You know, I was always just working. I had jobs, and you know, that was what I was going to do until we had kids, and I've just kind of moved up the timetable on that a little bit in terms of, you know, being home as of now. Given everything that happened with, you know, the pregnancy, I definitely want to just initially take some time to rest and recover, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, and also just given how stressed I was when I was working, because I mean, things were pretty stressful right up until the end there. Like, I was working like 50 hours a week or more some weeks. So yeah, I definitely really just want some time to relax, and you know, I'm super grateful that Kevin is, you know, supportive of that. But it's hard for me to, you know, I kind of have to force myself to relax a little bit because I do really enjoy being active. But, you know, I'm slowly working my way back into, you know, doing what I really want to do. Aside from things I do around the house, I really want to focus on my body and just, you know, eating healthy and exercising and really just getting in amazing shape before we start trying again. That is definitely a goal of mine. And I also really want to just pursue other hobbies and interests and passions of mine. I feel like you know, those are all things that I have had to kind of put on the back burner a little bit and that I've missed out on. So obviously YouTube is one of those things. Like, I will hopefully be posting on here more frequently for you guys now that I'm home. I would love to do once a week. That's a goal, but I'm gonna work my way up to that. And then I would love to do, you know, something, I would love to do other creative things as well. I have some ideas, but it's gonna be a conversation for another day. I definitely feel like I am going to use, you know, this time that I have wisely. Not that it should really matter to anyone other than like me and my husband, but yeah, I hate feeling like I have to justify that I am providing value. As of now, I don't see myself ever going back to a regular 9-to-5 job. Like, I would love to be able to earn money doing something more creative. I feel like YouTube is definitely not going to be, you know, the money maker in my life. Like, earning money on YouTube is really hard. Unless you're just constantly doing like sponsorships and stuff like that, and even to do that you need, you know, a much larger audience than I currently have. But I have some thoughts of other, like, I guess more like artistic things that I'd like to do. And I mean, I'm definitely not going to put pressure on myself that, like, you know, in a month or 6 months or whatever, that I need to be like earning money doing something, or I'm gonna like go back to a 9-to-5 job. Like, I'm definitely really grateful that I don't have that pressure. I also just have other hobbies that, you know, are completely unrelated to earning money ever, at least in my mind. But I mean, I love scrapbooking and music, and I mean, these are things that I used to do on, you know, a weekly, monthly basis that I haven't done in years. And so I'm definitely excited to go back to some of those like hobbies of mine. I think this video was very much needed because I was just having a really hard time feeling like I could open up to people about these things, because, you know, either it's hard for me to talk about, or, you know, everyone has their own opinions, and it's just, I feel like I needed to just put this out there into the universe. And now that it's out, I feel like I can, you know, proceed forward and, you know, find the new normal. But I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like it if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video, which will hopefully be very soon. Bye guys.